Welcome to the world of tomorrow, brought to you by the Nevi Debla Group.
I like the Off Blast better.
Needs more Zach Brannigan.
Yeah.
But we're all out of champagne.
Alright, ladies and gents, this is NeviCast, hosted by your boy, Fearless Billy Nuwanda. And let's just cut straight to it, because we don't have a whole ton of time to play with today. We've got our usual cast of players. We've got Rum, we've got Hans, we've got our delivery man.
What's up?
And we've got Saizo. So yeah, let's dig straight into some stuff. So yeah, a new announcement this week. We're finally getting a Gundam Versus game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of stoked when out of nowhere I was like checking the news sites and whatnot, and it's just like they finally announced the localization. Going to be this fall 2017.
Yeah,
so.
The page is up on Play Asia. It's been up for a couple of weeks now.
Will it have an opening by Linkin Park?
Man, that was great. that came out of nowhere. The previous Gundam Versus Gundam game, which never came out in the States, the intro was literally a Linkin Park song. And you're like, what? So many questions. How did this even get in here?
Well, this will be actually fully localized. They're actually
They're going to
actually bring it out. Now, of course, the main question is what voice actors, Japanese-wise, and what songs are they going to be allowed to keep? Because that's always the rough part with trying to bring these games over. But, just the fact that we're getting this is actually kind of almost a miracle in itself. Thanks, Iron-Blooded Orphans!
Yeah, I feel like they're probably going to just localize it and not do dubbing or anything like that. They're just going to keep all the Japanese voices. But yeah, like you said, the music, that's going to be the tough ask. Because for those that don't know, a lot of these songs that appear in anime are done by individual artists. So sometimes nailing down the licensing for the series and then the songs, that accompany it can be kind of difficult.
Yeah, it's pretty much like you're having to go through a process of first you gotta license it from the anime itself. Then you gotta license it from the voice, whoever the voice actress, the seiyuu, or the artist in this case can be sometimes. Then you've got to license it from the management agency. Then you also have to license it from the songwriter. Then possibly have to license it from the lyricist as well. Basically, there's tons and tons of channels you have to go through just to get a song over here to the U.S. It's
bureaucracy.
Yeah, it's just extreme, glorious Nihon red tape, as always. That's why it's really hard to get Kamen Rider over here to the States. The licensing's a lot rougher to manage.
Except for that horrible version they tried to bring over back in the 90s. That was so bad.
Oh, Masked Rider?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was back in the day when Saban had a bunch of cash to play with.
Mm-hmm.
They'll never
Power
touch.
Rangers was popular. Let's do it with the other shows.
Let's bring over everything.
Sentai Overdose.
They're going to love it.
Yeah, and that's where we got, what was it, VR Troopers?
Yes.
VR Troopers was a little bit better managed.
But it was two different shows they tried to splice into one.
Yeah, it was two different shows spliced into one. Kikaider and...
so bad.
I think Sharavan, if I remember correctly. Space Sheriff Sharavan.
It didn't last very long, did it?
No.
Not
Not
Didn't
a whole
it
ton
have
of
one
time.
of the Lawrence brothers in it?
Mm-hmm.
Or am I thinking of a different
Could be
Sentai
different.
show?
Could be a different one. But, I mean, the main thing it was known for is that the main actress went on to become a really big soap opera actress for General Hospital.
I only ever watched it because it came on right before Gargoyles on UPN.
Yeah.
That show was the shit, man.
Well, it couldn't be worse. It could have been, tattooed teenage alien warriors or something like that. That was
Biker
on
Mice
USA.
from Mars.
Yeah.
Was it Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, the TV series?
That was funny.
That was pretty funny. But yeah, new Gundam game coming out this fall, which will be pretty nice. I usually don't participate much in the Nevi Debla the fighting, but that's probably going to have to be an exception because I'm going to have to learn that game.
Yeah, they've taken great strides over the years to make it more balanced and more like a legit fighting game you'd see at tournaments. The previous game had a pretty robust online community as well. There are combos and stuff like that too. So it's definitely stepped its game up.
Yeah.
I wonder since it's coming out on PS4, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to add PSVR support for it or something.
Not likely.
Yeah,
Not likely, because
That'd be kind of cool to like be able to sit in the cockpit.
It's too fast of a game. It literally is like a map style fighting game. What's the word? Like Power Stone or something like that. Yeah, just on crack.
Or Virtual On if you really want to reach back. Yeah. But how many in our audience have actually played or heard of Virtual On? Leave your thoughts in the comments.
Yeah, but because I actually, when I was watching the trailer, I was actually kind of amazed by how fast it was. Because I was thinking it was going to be maybe like 30 frame per second style fighter. No. We're talking like 60.
You have cancels in the game. I mean, it's a quick one.
You will get wrecked.
To play the Sea Destiny version.
Yeah, and the one I bought with because there's a light version based on the Higurashi When They Cry property.
Yes. Called
Higurashi Daybreak. I bought that and the current Gundam Versus, which I forgot which version it was, but I played them side by side, and Daybreak was so incredibly easy to pick up and play. It doesn't have the cancels. It moves at a slower pace, so it's good to learn that style of game. But then I popped in the UMD for Gundam Versus, and I just got tore up. By the AI, no less.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on it as it gets closer to the fall, because that'll definitely be a game for all of us to pick up. Like, we'll probably all be streaming it quite a bit. So, yeah, definitely look forward to it. Speaking of gaming and streaming and stuff, so yeah, I finally decided to jump back into Overbutts. Over Bros.
And you're still not over it.
No. It's Waifu Simulator, the shooting.
Pretty much. But yeah, like Overwatch, of course, like as you guys know, like came out with their new Uprising deal, which is basically like a glorified horde mode. You take, like, there's two modes to it. You take, you can either play the traditional mode, in which you have to either pick from Reinhardt, Mercy, Torbjorn, or Tracer, and you basically have to just take out a whole ton of Omnics.
You can't pick everybody? The whole cast?
Well, that's the first mode you play. Then you can also play the version of it in which you can choose from everybody. Because if you do the traditional mode, it's a little bit tougher to do, especially if you're not really skilled in those characters. Like, there's a couple times, like on my stream, like the first time I tried doing the traditional mode in my stream, I had to pick Reinhardt, and I am just not skilled with Reinhardt at all whatsoever.
Which one's he?
The giant, like armored guy with a hammer
and the shield.
And the shield.
The tank.
Yeah, the tank of the game. And yeah, that was kind of rough. Like, I actually got play of the game a bit on when we did it, but we ended up losing. But like the second time, like I was able to get Mercy, and Mercy I'm at least a lot more familiar with, so that made things a lot easier. But yeah, when I was doing it where you could just pick everybody off the roster, it's like Diva. And even crazier, it would be like Diva, Reinhardt, Orisa, and like Lucio, like three ultra tanky kind of characters, and the one healer who everybody really likes, and just go in and just mow town. It's kind of funny, but you know, like just those skins though,
they are super classy.
They are at that. Even more, and like an even crazier deal too is that like for Blizzard's other like their Dota style game, Heroes of the Storm. Yeah, they just put out a new trailer, and they're putting Diva and Genji in the game.
Huh.
Yeah, because they've actually been incorporating Overwatch heroes in there for a while. As soon as Overwatch took off, it was just like, alright, time to start dumping them into our other games. So yeah, they started putting folks immediately in Heroes of the Storm. I believe it already has like Tracer and Zarya, if I remember correctly. But yeah, they put out this really good cinematic, which had like Genji taking on Diablo. And then out of nowhere fucking comes Diva, and it's just like, alright, I played to win. I guess I'll be getting back into Heroes of the Storm now. Especially because like the way they have it set up is that if you play Heroes on the Storm with a buddy, you can unlock loot stuff for Overwatch. So yeah.
Truly cross-promotion domination.
Pretty much, I mean, that's how Blizzard does it. It's like even with Overwatch, it's how they keep you playing. It's because they constantly have like crazy new loot skins rotating in and out all the time. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, I want that Officer Diva suit skin.
Of course.
Of course.
But yeah, today is International Tabletop Day, and we'll be going up to Madness here in a little while to play some board games.
Which, for those of you that are unfamiliar, Madness is a comics and game shop that is somewhat... It's near-ish to us. I actually think it's one of the nearest ones we have. It is also really fucking large.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's
pretty much...
in a Kroger, and they like gutted it and like put all like board games and card games and comics.
Yeah, so for a lot of y'all who are going to be listening to this on Sunday... generally, like 1 month a weekend, like one weekend in April, they designate that Saturday as International Tabletop Day. Normally, it's been designated around the first weekend of April. This is actually the first year where they're doing it at the last weekend of April instead. But yeah, it's just a day where where like if you got the day off, crack out some tabletop board games, card games, whatever you like to do with your bros, and just have fun with some straight lines.
Don't start that.
Not right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'll probably be taking some pictures and posting them up on the Nevi group here in a little while.
No, yeah. It's always, like, pretty fun stuff.
Although last year I did end up buying the terribly ill-fated Street Fighter deck building game. So I bought the game, and I'm like, super, this is awesome. I like Street Fighter. Games are fun. I open it, I read the rules. I am, like, how hard did I deflate as soon as I read the rules?
Oh, no, you deflated pretty quickly. This is a deal, like... So there's a Street Fighter deck building game that had come out, and, like, Hobbs was, like, super, stoked about it when we were at Madness. I was picking up Smash Up Munchkin myself. Because I know in the house, we like Munchkin, and we've been wanting to try Smash Up because we heard lots of good things about it. So I was like, okay, this will work out. And he's like, yeah, man, we should play the Street Fighter game tonight, too. All right, cool. Yeah. Sounds like a plan, bro. And we buy our games. We're sitting there, like, I'm going through the rule sets because we were going to play Smash Up first. And while we were doing that, Hobbs is just reading through the rules of Street Fighter, and he's just kind of like, fuck. Because the problem is that the folks who made that game were also the same ones who made, I believe it was Legendary, and then also, like, they're the type that, like, when they have one system developed for card games, they just take that system and pretty much apply it across the board to all of their properties. So all of their games end up coming out the same.
It doesn't work that way.
And
it's just a reskinned version of the first game. Whatever.
Essentially, and even then, I was expecting, like, it's a deck building game. Okay, so you build your deck, you weigh your options, you engage in a street fight. No, it's like a fucking arcade run. And how many times, in all of the times you or anyone you know has been playing video games, has there been a fucking co-op arcade mode in a fighting game?
Actually, for the upcoming Ultra Street Fighter 2, they will have a co-op mode.
How? Are they going to do it like the epic battles they did in Alpha?
3, yeah. It'll probably be like that.
Yeah, because I've seen video footage of it, because they show, like, for example, Ryu and Ken taking on Bison. So it'll be something similar to that, like probably what y'all are saying, epic battles, but they do have co-op stuff available.
So, like, 7 years after the game came out, they said, hey, this was a terrible idea, let's cram it into a game.
Actually, no, the terrible idea for this game would be that first-person 3D mode that they're putting in it.
Yeah, that is kind of stupid.
What?
Because you remember what happens when Street Fighter goes 3D, don't you, Jarrett?
Hey, Alpha was great.
EX.
EX.
Yeah, EX plus Alpha was great.
No, it wasn't.
Skullomania, people.
Alright, so yeah.
Street Fighter EX was trash.
Yeah, that was good.
Let me stop for a second, catch Rum up. So basically, for the upcoming Ultra Street Fighter 2 for the Nintendo Switch, they're adding in a first-person 3D mode called Warrior Within, where basically you use the Switch Joy-Cons as your fists, and you direct it to punch guys or do Hadokens.
Since you guys can't see me, I am rolling my eyes as we speak.
Where'd they go? They're like way in the back of his head. I can't see them.
Stupid.
They've disappeared. They're in a new zip code.
I take issue with the game itself. Why release Street Fighter 2 on the Switch? Who's gonna buy that?
You would be actually surprised because
I would be.
At the end of the day, like, because like they can't do Street Fighter 5 because that's pretty much between them and Sony. Sony helped pay for the game.
Okay.
They
So
could force feed us another version of 4. That didn't seem to stop them earlier.
Or bring back Alpha.
But the problem is, though, is that for Nintendo fans, they know that 2 is the one that resonates the most.
Do they?
So it's... that was an interesting... It's just like, do they?
Do they really?
Do they now?
I mean, this is Capcom. They have been privy to, not so... Or should I say not so, but they've been privy to questionable decisions before.
Yeah, it's a strange one to me. As someone who, I guess I'll say I'm kind of part of the FGC as a whole, there are so many other games, if you want to bring a fighting game out, that you could bring to the system. Just why Street Fighter 2? It's such a dated game.
And why a first-person mode? Because, look at, I think it was called Fighter Within.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Kinect fighting game. That would be a great drinking game.
So what are your thoughts, Dan?
I have no thoughts
Yeah.
at all.
Well, I mean, like,
Anyway,
actually,
I
for a
wasn't
Dawn, that
talking.
would actually be easier for you to play, because, like, when it comes, because, like, for fighting games, you usually go for more of the sprite-based ones to begin with, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, that would be something that actually would work well for a Dawn, because, it's easier for you to do the sprite-based fighters than it is to do, 3D style.
Yeah. Yeah, like, Virtua Fighter worked with me, but those are, like, graphics from 20 years ago. 15 years ago.
Yeah, and plus, like, with them adding all this crazy extra crap, I mean, they kind of have to justify the $40 price tag somehow.
It's $40?
It's $40.
Damn.
Yeah.
For a game that came out when I was in middle school.
Yeah, no. That's a hard pass for me. That is on a system I'm never going to get.
Yeah, even for me, like, because I'm like, since I have the Switch out of all of us, like, that's like a $20 buy for me.
Yeah.
Like...
I could see it at $20, but not.
But
yeah.
Is Soul Calibur considered 3D?
Yes.
It is, but because of its system, though, like, do you play a lot of Soul Calibur, Adon?
I used to.
Because of its, I don't know, like, I consider Soul Calibur with its, like, mechanics and whatnot, it's more free-flowing than a lot of other 3D fighters to me. Mainly because of the step system.
Well, yeah, the step system was introduced in Soul Calibur and then adopted by other games because it fucking worked.
I mean, it's more free than Tekken. Tekken has sidestepping, but it's nowhere near.
And
nowhere
even then,
near.
Tekken wasn't
Yeah.
even actually 3D
up until like 4, I believe.
Yeah. The thing is, they just used camera tricks to convince you that it was 3D.
Yeah, it looks like 3D.
Yeah. Oh, Tekken 4. I remember having to, like, because, like, I love the crap out of Tekken 3. And then when I was working staff at Mid-South Con, one of the things I had to do was get Tekken 4 and unlock all the characters for it so that if people wanted to play Tekken, they could go ahead and play it with the full roster. God, that was such a slog, because I realized how much inferior Tekken 4 was compared to 3. It's kind of a weird habit they have. Like, the odd number Tekkens end up being the really good ones, but the even number Tekkens are just kind of like,
So how did 6 stack up?
I didn't play enough of 6 personally to where I could judge.
I was mostly asking Sai.
Oh, you were?
Well, you are the one who has played the most Tekken out of all of us.
Out of my opinion, I'd say every Tekken is good except for the tag versions. Those are the ones I never really liked.
But what about Tekken Bowling?
That was a side game on 3. And
I
in
thought it
Tekken
was-
Force.
They
I thought it
also
was in
brought
Tekken
it.
Tag.
They brought it back in
I thought it
Tekken
was
Tag
in
too.
Yeah, Tekken Bowling and Force were in 3, at least as far as I remember. But yeah, I mean, all the main lines, for me, they're fine. It's just small things like with every fighting game that they take out and remove and change that you kind of have to get used to, but I never dislike one. The tag ones, for me, just don't really, they don't really sync up.
I think what makes the tag ones off is the fact that they're pretty much not canon. So I think that throws people off, and like, plus, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of silly at
If
times.
I was going to play a game that was tag, I'd rather play Dead or Alive than play Tekken being tag. That's just kind of how I feel about it. But
Yeah.
either way, I'm still hype as fuck for Tekken 7, though.
With Akuma?
I don't care. As long as Jin is there, I'm good, man. That's my main.
He's always there.
Oh, yeah.
When does it come out?
I think it's either right before or right after A-Kon. I'm pretty sure it might be like... No, wait, no. I think it might actually be September.
Yeah, because
I think it might be
A-Kon's in
September.
June.
Yeah, it's in June. I was thinking it was around that time, but no, I think it's actually September.
Because I would get Tekken 7.
Yeah, I'm excited for Tekken 7. Just I hate the turnaround for it because the game's been out for over a year already.
Well, I mean, with a lot of fighting games, I mean, I'm sure in the case of Tekken, like they probably still have that old school mindset of where they want to sit there and like spend a lot of time testing and refining before they even bother to put it out here in the States. So I know that's for a long while. That's how a lot of fighting game teams would do their games. Is that they put out in Japan in the arcades first. They'd actually go through multiple versions in Japan before they would even do a home console release in Japan. Exactly right. Then they would bring it out over here to the States, and even then they'd go through multiple iterations.
And that's what we're getting, because Tekken 7, the console version, is basically the second version of the game. It's already been out in arcades, and they've been refining and changing, and now... I think it's... I forgot the name. I'm just going to say Bloodline Revelation or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're getting as the home package for Tekken 7.
Yeah, because for 6, we got the home package, which was Bloodline Rebellion in Japan.
I don't remember what the 7 was called, but it's called something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's also, like... So, it kind of sucks, but I mean that we have to wait so long, but,
Is there a storyline? Is there actually storyline?
There's an actual story. There's an actual story. It has gotten nonsensical as fuck, but there is a story.
Alright.
Just don't really pay attention to the movie, because the movie doesn't really match up or make sense to the games.
Oh my god. I forgot that they made a movie.
There's a movie?
Yeah,
there's two of them.
There's two?
There was a live-action movie, which really doesn't make any sense.
No, it was terrible.
And then
there's a CG movie.
And then there's a CG movie, which also doesn't really match up and make any sense.
There was also an animated movie way back when.
Yeah, there was an animated movie.
All I remember from it was Anna getting her head bitten off by Alex.
I never saw it. But
Yeah.
It was one of those that OVA trash that you rent at Blockbuster because it's there.
Like
it was one of those where ADV... Because I remember it was an ADV release, and it was probably just one of those. It's like, hey, we got a Tekken deal on.
Or even more so, obscure Battle Arena Toshinden. Who remembers that one?
I remember the game.
I remember that.
Yeah, there was an anime movie, and again, all I remember from that was Sophia's shower scene.
Yeah, not quite as classic as the Chun-Li shower scene.
That was cringe-inducing.
What?
Yeah, from Street Fighter 2V, I think.
Yeah.
Well, no,
where Vega attacks her as she's trying to shower.
Street Fighter 2, not 2V because that was the animated series, but the actual original animated movie.
Oh, the movie Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, that movie was so good.
Mainly
just because like the soundtrack really
kind
of
Alice in Chains in it.
Had Alice in Chains like the beginning. You know, you had like Israel's son. You know, it's like your name for the execution, and that was actually the first time I had heard Korn. Because they had Korn's Blind as the ending bit. Yeah. It's just like right in the moment.
Grabbed a bunch of stuff and...
this is really popular. Let's throw that in there.
What are the kids listening to these days?
Yeah. It's like, well, let's see. We got all these bands in here. Let's just license all these, like... It was all like the big, like, grunge and nu metal bands. Like a lot of the nu metal that was still starting to come up.
Yeah.
And a lot of the grunge that was still kind of decent at the time. Yeah, inexplicably, I don't know how the hell they afforded this, but they got all these killer bands on for the soundtrack.
They knew they'd make their money just because of the name.
And most of them are anti-establishment, so...
I said Street Fighter 2 was like red hot back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't that. Even as it was starting to fade, because like all the fatigue from like Championship Edition, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street
Turbo
Fighter 2,
Champion Edition, Nose-Picking Edition.
Yeah. But even then, when the animated movie came out, that was like the shit. Like everybody like watched it.
I remember we watched it closing one night back at Cockbuster Video. When I first started working there, we just put it in because we had shit tons of stuff to do. So we put it over the TVs and we just watched that.
Yeah.
That was a fun job.
No, it wasn't. Why do you think I refer to it angrily as Cockbuster Video?
That was a fun job.
Yeah.
Taco Hell and...
Remember our shady back alley deals we used to make with Mr. Gems?
Yes.
What? This requires an explanation.
Yeah, there was a Mr. Jim's Pizza right down the street. And, yeah, we would give them rentals for pizza.
Also, Papa John's. Like, the manager could just not fucking turn shit in on time. It's not difficult. But, you know, he'd hook us up with a free pizza if we'd remove his extended viewing fees.
No wonder they went bankrupt.
Oh, yeah, we had the power back then, y'all. We had the power. It's like, yeah, girl, all these late fees, I can make that shit disappear.
And people I spoke to once in high school were suddenly trying to be my best friend.
Yeah.
It's like, go away.
So listen, I kept this movie for like a year, and I kind of owe you guys like $100. Think you can help me out? Like, no.
Probably not.
What do I get out of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, lordy.
Had this group of 3, and there was this chick there, and the guy was like, she'll show you her ass if you take off our viewing fees. And I'm like, no, do not want, leave.
Well, on that note, speaking of like hot asses,
We're going to talk more about Overwatch, aren't we?
Oh, lordy. No, but let's kind of like jump into some more Berserk real quick, because we talked a little bit about it last week with Adon, but you actually finally caught up.
Yeah, I did.
So yeah, like now that you're caught up, what are your thoughts on everything?
It was disappointing. I did not like where they took this story. Like you were mentioning last time, they turned it into a fantasy story, and it didn't have to go that way. And in my opinion, there's only one rescuable part of the movie, which is towards the end, where the poodle hair girl leaves with the guy, and they say, like, the girl says to the guy that she's leaving the group because she's going to hate
She's going to hate
the matriarch all over again.
Yeah.
And if she stays with this guy, and they could actually make themselves better by that. So I really like that idea of them being conscious of not being perfect, but if they stay together, if they're in a relationship, they can make each other better as human beings, as people, and maybe in the future, like, go back with her, or be like the matriarch, like Lucy, Luca, or Luca.
Luca is generally a more feminine name, but I'm not sure what the hell you're talking about.
Okay.
As far as the going and staying with, and yeah, as far as
which characters you're referencing it on, just so like everybody knows.
So, it's the girl that's dying. She's part of the Satanic Club, or the Satanic Group, and
yes. You're talking about the first season. Yeah.
Is this the first season?
Yes.
Of 2016?
Yes, it's the 2016 season.
Yeah.
And, yeah, now that I actually know what you're talking about, I kind of see where you're coming from, but it hasn't gone all that fantasy at that point.
Yeah, like if you're kind of garging a little bit, you're gonna really not like the.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a good time.
It goes far more fantasy and less low fantasy and more traditional fantasy.
I just hate how they keep going off the rails, man. I hate that.
Yeah, because okay, so now I know. Yeah, because you caught up with the 2016 series. Right now, like
season.
they're airing the new season, the 2017 one.
Yeah.
Which is going to be the Berserker armor, like arc. That's essentially what it is. if I
Yeah,
remember
that's
correctly, right?
what it amounts to.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of go off the charts on the fantasy stuff, so...
Because the elf came out of nowhere. Like that.
Puck?
Yeah.
Puck's been around since the beginning.
But still, It literally does come out of nowhere.
Well, it shows that there's not the, I guess, higher magics, the lighter magics haven't completely abandoned the world. It's not completely fucking hopeless.
No, I think they just needed some comic relief.
Exactly.
And it just feels like it's like, here's this character you're going to be with for the rest of the entire series. I hope you like him. And I'm like, I don't.
But it also shows that they have not been completely abandoned.
I mean,
if you don't have the comic relief, it's just, hate everything.
Yes.
Want to kill Griffith.
Many series have done that and still been good.
Yeah, because I was gonna say like
it just
that
feels
was
very forced.
At times, I will say the comedic interludes do feel a little forced and out of place. Like, you remember the rock throwing character, Isidoro?
Yes.
Yeah, his dialogue is a bit much, but I see the need for him because he wants to be like Gatsu, and Gatsu's just like, you're an idiot. Don't be like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Isidoro has a little more depth than Puck, I think. Even though like it seems like they're switching from comedic relief. Like when Puck isn't being the comedic relief, Isidoro is with his piffy comments and being sarcastic
And throwing rocks.
throwing
rocks. Yeah, I mean, like, I think it kind of is interesting because, like, because it took so long for new Berserk anime to come out, that what a lot of people had as a reference for Berserk for the longest time was the original anime. And for a lot of folks, like, they probably didn't even try to, like, catch up to the manga. They just stuck with only the original anime. And the original anime is pretty much, like, ultra grimdark,
Yeah, and has very, very few fantastic elements besides, Nosferatu Zod showing up on occasion.
So I think it might be jarring for a lot of folks, who have only had that as their reference, and then with the new anime coming out, the fact that it makes this switch to more of a fantasy jump to it might be throwing a lot of y'all off.
It is, but the thing is, I've only read the first couple chapters of the manga, and I'm okay with it.
Honestly, I think that we can owe this anime to the movies doing so well.
Yeah.
Because the movies made bank in Japan. Like, they were highly successful.
Yeah. And not only that, but, like, folks have been clamoring for new Berserk for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like with JoJo's. It took forever for them to actually get JoJo's off the ground, mainly because they had to spend, a lot of time just having to work through licensing issues and whatnot alone and work ways around all the names of the characters and whatnot. And, yeah, it's only just recently that, you had David Pro step up and actually start to put that series out on a semi-regular basis.
Yep, and now it's turned all of us longtime fans into hipsters. Because, I had the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fighting game on Dreamcast. Yeah, back when I was like, what the hell is this? Like, dude, it's awesome. It's based on this manga? I'm like, okay, whatever, weeaboo. And now I'm like, yeah! You like JoJo now, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
like,
kind of mainstream.
Yeah, now it's mainstream. I liked JoJo before it was cool.
Or it's like, you see, like, folks, like talking about JoJo's, you just have to go, just like, do you even pose?
Yeah.
Do you even break the microphone?
I know, right? Look
I
at
break the microphone on a weekly basis on here.
It's 7 on the Richter scale.
Fearless Nuwanda does have mad mic skills, and he can thoroughly wreck the mic. One day we're going to trick him into freestyling for you, the listener.
We don't have
listener.
to. We can just cut up the audio from this. Just make
Actually,
True that, yeah, you can just do it like a YouTube jump cut, like, I woke off to the side, and I was, going to a movie.
Thought you were a straight guy?
Alright, explanation for that.
Oh, what, the straight line, or,
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, we got time to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, before we go into more serious, anime talks and whatnot, okay, so, I was, on a Silverchair loop on YouTube, and I get to their song Straight Lines, which is from their last album, and all of a sudden I catch Game Grumps references in the comments.
And, I will say that Straight Lines, if you've listened to Silverchair, say Frog Stomp, Neon Ballroom, Straight Lines sounds nothing like that.
Yeah, it's like a complete,
Poppy departure.
it's like you would think you're listening to modern Coldplay.
Mm-hmm.
Which
is not a good thing.
Subjectively. I mean, I followed them since the beginning. I thought it was a decent song.
It was all yellow.
Yeah, it was all yellow. But yeah, like they
I
sit
gotta
there.
go.
Yeah, like they sit there and they get on here and like, so I watched this Game Grumps video that they're all referencing, and it's just like, you know, they're talking about like, you know, how initially Silverchair was just like, it's 12 o'clock and it's a Diffil-Doffil Day, and you know, next thing is like, yeah, you know, they start like laughing about straight lines, and it's because they were just like riffing on it, you know, it's just like, sucking lots of dick in the evening. Thought I was a straight guy, you know, and stuff like that. And then ever since then, watching that video, not only did I laugh hysterically, but you know, now I can't get that fucking bit out of my head.
He's singing it every single chance he gets.
Yeah.
Thought I was a straight guy.
Oh lordy.
And that has been our public service of lowering your IQ for a couple points this week.
Yay.
That is a knee slapper, guys. That is a definite knee slapper.
Yes. So yeah, like in this week in Dank Animu, so I broke down and watched this show this week, at least the first 3 episodes of a show that Rum has highly recommended to me, Akashic Records, a Bastard Teacher Instructor.
I started watching it last night, actually.
Bastard Magical Instructor.
Yeah. And
It starts off like a classic comedy, and by the 3rd episode, it's like, holy fucking shit.
yeah, well, it's like, I kind of saw the seeds of it in the very beginning and in certain parts in the first 2 episodes. It was just like...
There is kind of a dead giveaway in whatever episode I walked in on, where the guy straight up says, magic is a tool for killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that. It's the fact that they try and hook you in by the first 2 episodes. Because a series like that, where you have a main character that comes in with some hype behind him, but he's acting like a dumbass. Like, all right, so what can you really do? What can you really do? When's it going to happen? We're going to see what he's actually capable of.
Yeah.
And so that kind of, like with me, I watched the first episode, I'm like, okay, so like he's highly recommended. He's done, you know, he has the recommendation of like this person that's extremely strong, you know, and he comes in, it's like he's acting just like a complete goof. Like, okay, so what's the story behind this guy? You know? And then, of course, you get to find out what that is as it goes on. But yeah, that was their initial hook for the series, trying to get you to keep watching.
It gets to the 3rd episode, and it's like, oh, he's all badass, and then 4th episode comes out.
Which I haven't yet to see.
Yeah.
It goes back to like the 1st episode, where it's
yeah.
all comedy.
It's like, all right, you got to see that little glimpse of his badassery. Now we're going back to the funny stuff.
Yeah, I think it kind of like has like a lot of shades of Trigun.
Is it a light novel adaptation? Because
it's a light novel adaptation.
Yeah.
Like
What isn't a light novel adaptation these days?
That's pretty much like the big deal
Jojo.
nowadays.
No.
Well, yeah, this is true.
That isn't.
That's not going, and it's Dragon Ball Z for girls.
Talking
Wow.
about Inuyasha.
But hey, you just blew his mind with that comment.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Inuyasha is Dragon Ball Z for girls.
Thank you for that.
Anytime. I do what I can. Demon Lord Hans is slated X amount of hours of community service for things he's done that we won't go into. Subscribe and I'll tell you. So, blowing your mind with that realization was part of my community service.
You sure you want to get some more water? You look kind of thirsty there, Hobbs.
Oh!
Oh, yes! I had to.
He had to combo breaker!
Low-hanging fruit, but I just had to eat it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
So trust me, you will eat it.
Yes.
Oh, my Lanta. Yeah, like...
You never heard him say that?
He says it constantly. It's one of his things.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's a pretty good one. Like yeah, for if you guys are looking for like yet another series to add to your spring repertoire, like I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
seems
fun
like
show.
Seems like it'll be a pretty good watch so far.
Like Aramanga Sensei.
That
Still
reminds me.
cannot get behind that one. I tried watching a couple
first
episodes.
episode, like the chicks talking about dicks and shit.
I thought that was episode 2.
Was it 2?
It was. I think it was 2 when the school girl neighbor comes
Yeah,
over.
it was 2. Yeah,
Because 3 is one dude who's having to like deal
He
with
walks
Elf
in on
Yamada playing.
Yamada playing piano
naked.
naked.
I haven't seen it yet. I might check it out tonight.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's by the same dude who wrote Oremo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I think it's going to turn out to be a lot more toned down because...
They're not blood related.
I don't think he wants to get caught up in that hype again.
Yeah, well, that was the problem, is that when because, like, that's what screwed him over with the Rayamo, because, like, he sat there and he got himself caught up in his own hype, so he went for the arrow ending, and everybody got pissed off
and
at him
everybody
for
got mad. He had to go back and fucking rewrite it, and like, alright, fine, they're just fucking friends, alright? Like, what?
Yeah.
It was irritating. I don't want to give spoilers for the end of the series. But
That's okay, we already did last week, if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty sure, we were spoilerific last week.
Alright, it's just like with the ending of the anime. Alright, so you have him basically piss off, not really piss off, but kind of like... You basically have him reject all of these girls that have been after him for this entire time for her. And then at the very end, they decide to just wipe the slate clean and go back to
I can't believe he gave up Curl Neko.
I know! Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, like, that was, like, the thing that really killed me about that show, is that, like, the author was so desperate to make the sister ending work that...
It didn't make any sense, though.
I think it was done as a giant FU, because in Japan at the time, they were considering legislation to ban those kinds of works. So,
right.
I think
the Lolicon Act.
So I think he did it as a giant FU to them, but at the same token, he screwed over his audience in the process.
Yeah.
I mean, so I have a feeling with Arrow Manga Sensei, like, I think that's one of the reasons why there's such a huge gap in the age between the two, because that way it eliminates any thought or consideration that
they've only, like, been brother and sister for maybe a year.
Yeah. I don't know, to be honest, I don't think they're going to go that route at all whatsoever. I think it's one of those more of, like...
There's already hentai out there of it and shit.
Oh, I'm not surprised at all.
There's a Rule 34 of anything.
Not surprised in the slightest. Really not.
But, yeah, like, it just... You know, like, it's going to be one of those where I think, like, I'll stick with it a lot more because I think it's not going to go in that direction.
It's a genuinely funny show.
It is. It also kind of helps that, you know, the Eromanga Sensei herself has a nice little design, which means that everybody will be buying her figure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
or the little pink-haired mask that she wears.
The pink-haired mask, that's going to be, like, fucking everywhere at, like, cons this summer.
Hoodie with a pink-haired mask.
Hoodie with a pink-haired mask.
Yeah, just like the Umaru little hoodie thing that was going around last year.
Yeah.
So, in other anime, took up watching Clockwork Planet. It strikes me as what would happen if Chobits had fights, which sounds a little weird.
It does.
But, yeah. Basically, the premise is that the world died and was rebuilt as clockwork. And everything is gears and such. And I'm only 3 episodes in because it just started. But I'm going to continue watching it. Although I'm not sure if I could recommend it yet. There are some interesting designs, but it does seem a little tropey.
Yeah, there's only 4 episodes out right now.
Yeah, the 4th episode came out, which I just said. Anyway, that's all I had to say on that.
The man of few words once again. Hans, everybody. Golf clap. Golf clap. And I know actually tomorrow, me and Adon are going to be taking a special trip. We're actually going to Catch Your Name.
How many does this make for you? Like
4. But yeah, like, because like the whole deal is like I've been killing to have like a special podcast where we actually discuss this fucking movie because there's so much to like go into, but like the one person I've been waiting on has been our delivery man. Because like it was like last week we were going to go see it. I was like, hey dude, you want to go catch this on Saturday? Sure, man. All right, bro, I got the tickets. Oh yeah, I had my Krav Maga test, man. I can't make it. Sorry.
Yeah, but I'm done with that, so I'll be able to make it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, plus, I mean, we're going tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like be on the lookout for that, because yeah, next Nevicast is going to be one where we go like just completely balls deep into that flick, because there's so much that you can take away from it. And,
yes, that means I got Saturday off. Because I still haven't seen it and refused to, basically. Hey.
Sai being our most productive and useful member.
What can I say? I'm a simple man. I saw the trailer and I pressed dislike.
This is gonna be one of those deals where like we're gonna have to wait till it comes out on Blu-ray and then like strap you in like Clockwork Orange style,
Yeah, just
and
tape
make
his
you
eye
tape
open.
his eyes open and then make him watch it.
Like 7 times.
Put
Yes,
some duct tape on his mouth so he can't complain about it.
and of course the first version he has to watch is the dub.
And then give a test afterwards. So, scene 35. And
What does the color orange signify in this movie?
Can you tell us about the significance of the braided cords?
You're not supposed to use actual examples.
Yeah, no.
it's okay. Just.
Yeah.
He has
Right
no
now
idea
it's
what you're
just
talking about anyway.
yeah.
Why-
Right
why
now
you
it's just
lie?
like whatever you do
Oh, yeah.
though. Don't listen to last week's podcast because we spoiled the fuck out of Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it. Thank you for the
Yeah,
headline.
heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh.
Yeah, because I was just because last week, if y'all listened to that shit, we were just like,
Oh, I
Spoiler!
need to finish the damn game, man.
Same here.
yeah, y'all hurry up and
What's
finish.
stopping you, aside from Persona
I was
5?
going to say Persona 5
Work.
and FIFA. That's pretty much about it. Those games get like 80% of my time. So
How close are you on Persona 5? Have you got an end game yet, or you're still
I
just
know.
doing
I
side
am
quests?
45 hours in, and I am, I would say, like, almost halfway done.
Oh, okay. Well, not too bad. I mean, I'm about the same with Breath of the Wild. I could go beat it at any time, but I'm too busy trying to explore.
It's an extremely time-consuming game, and you add your own time by making little things seem a little bit long. Like, for example, they added fast travel to the game, which is phenomenal. You know, you can just fast travel to any of the locations you've been to, like for your social links and that kind of stuff. But for me, it's more fun to get out of school and actually go and walk there and ride the subway trains and that kind of stuff. So it adds time to every little experience, basically. Not to mention grinding, because I mean it's Persona.
Just
Yeah.
if a weird middle school girl comes up to you, ignore.
It
It'll
has
be
happened.
important later.
And I do have a stalker right now, actually, in the game.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Good times. Yeah, and of course, the funny part is that you haven't really talked a whole bunch about Mass Effect Andromeda ever.
Oh, I'm still playing it, just
Still
nowhere
playing it?
near as
Nowhere
much. 'Cause
near as much?
They quote unquote fixed it with 2 of their content updates that they did. One was, I think, a few weeks ago, and then there was one a month previous where they went back and tightened up the facial animations. I don't know. I don't think they added PS4 Pro support, but they basically just tightened the game up in general, and like some of the galaxy exploration, they've made it quicker because there are some long-winded scenes where you're traveling in between planets and galaxies and stuff, and they kind of shortened that up. And yeah, I mean it's a fun game. It's still like Mass Effect Inquisition. It really is. It really is. But it's still a really fun game. Like I like the crafting a lot. You can basically get damn near any gun in the game without having to pay for it.
Nice.
And it's nowhere near as like scanny as like No Man's Sky or something like that. Even though people say, "Oh, you just scan things up," no, you really don't. You don't do a whole lot. It's very contextual most of the time.
So do you ever fly through space talking about how you enjoy Centauri?
Yes.
A nice refreshing glass as you watch the stars fly by?
Yeah, in my own personal room. It's got shutters and everything.
Having freaky sex with aliens?
Yes. Not yet. I'm getting there though.
With some champagne.
Champagne.
See you soon, Space Cowboy.
I find the most erotic part about a woman is the boobies.
So on that note, like since we've already kind of wandered like extraordinarily off topic, let's kind of wrap things up by talking about shit that we're into this week. So yeah, let's start with you, Saizo.
Oh, well, things I'm into this week. I mean, honestly, if I had a Persona 5. It is the greatest game ever made. Everyone buy it. Buy 2 copies. All of you right now go.
No, I have played 1 through 4.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's
Actually,
like saying,
I could
"Oh,
say
can't-"
with like the Persona series, they're all like even more standalone than Final Fantasy is.
Actually, sir,
Well, let's go into it.
3, 4, and 5 have threads of commonality in between. 3 and 4 especially, because one of the great things about 4 is you actually get to go to the high school that 3 took place in one of your like summer trips.
Oh,
And so
okay.
you get to see some of the characters that are older, because like 4 takes place a year or 2 years after 3 ends.
And doesn't 4 have characters from 3?
No,
Or was that just Arena?
that was Arena. Arena was the mismatch.
I
Okay.
have 3 on PS2, but I haven't played it.
3 is definitely going to be... 3 is probably the hardest one. Like, 3 is... old school Shin Megami Tensei, just kind of newer Persona, like
Death shows up every 5 minutes.
that too, and like some of the later floors in Tartarus, like man, I've never been so frustrated when you start a battle, the first enemy can attack first, uses death, insta kills your main character, and boom, start all over again.
Yeah.
Especially if you lose like 30 minutes of progress for that shit. You just want to
it's like
throw your controller through the damn wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 is pretty hard. 4 is very, very easy in comparison. 5 kind of takes elements of both.
Yeah.
Death is in 5. Thought that was a nice touch.
Yep. Nice. So, Ron, what are you into right now?
Let's see. I stayed up till like 6 in the morning building Magic the Gathering decks last night. So
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Built a green, white, black elves deck, and then went off and built a white Winnie life gain deck. So, yeah, and then I got D&D tomorrow. Played my rum plays on Wednesday. That was fun. Finished up King's Quest, and next week I'll be playing Full Throttle on there.
Yeah, I saw that on PSN.
Yeah, it's fun.
The artwork looked a little different. Is it like a remaster? Or is
Yeah,
it
it's a remaster.
Okay.
Yeah, it came out like I think 90.
Yeah, I had that on
maybe.
on CD-ROM like way back when. Yeah, it was a LucasArts game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, along those veins, and the remaster is just freaking awesome.
Yeah, some of the like first games I had on PC. I had the original XCOM, and some pirate game. I forgot. Anyways.
And then Hobbs, what sounds good for you this week?
As usual, Flash Fiction Friday, which I actually did this week. Go me. Feel free to read it up on our website. And mostly just working and trying to get the next Flash Fiction to be better than the previous one.
Also kind of interesting because the whole time you were talking,
You sounded like you were kind of in the McDonald's drive-thru. Can I get a Big Mac and order in front of that?
Okay, Bane.
What? Persona 5?
yeah.
Oh.
And then Delivery Man, what sounds good for you this week besides Tech 9?
Tech 9, yeah, that's right.
Did you go?
Yeah, he did go.
I saw Dylan snaps on Snapchat.
Yeah.
I was like, the fuck?
I was
Where
thrown out
are
of.
they?
I was thrown out of the stage. It was badass.
Really?
Yeah. Really, really cool. So that was yesterday. It was 2.5 hours almost.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long concert, but it
Holy
was
crap.
oh man, cute girls.
What, did he go through his whole discography or something?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good time.
Where was it at?
Gas Monkey.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like I said, I was sitting there and like I kept getting snaps from Dylan. I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, where are they? Like, some concert going on tonight?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I had the most fun just because I wasn't listening to any of the music.
Concert's great if you ignore the music.
It's like, I don't really listen to the music. I just came to pick up chicks.
Hey, that's how I am at Akon though. It's like, man, this is great. I
Right?
don't know about all this, and this anime stuff though. I don't know about all that.
It's like you get. It's like, we'll all go to Fort Worth here in like a month or so and just be like, oh wow, what fine yet rustic architecture. Oh, there's an anime con? Fuck.
Oh, this is fun. Oh, this is better, you know?
Yeah, it's like, hey girl, what's going on? Oh, that's good. It's like, yeah, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just here to stand in line to see his voice actor for this anime. I'm like, what? How's an anime?
You have more fun that way.
Just convince people you have no idea what an anime con is.
Or it'd be like even a little more hilarious, you sit there, you go to Matthew Mercer's like autograph line and you're just like, so, like, who are you guys here for, Well, I'm here to see Matthew Mercer, the host of Critical Role. You mean the voice actor, right? I don't know what you're talking about. I just know him for D&D.
Like voice actor.
Like, voice actor, what the fuck? What do you mean? It's high noon. Like, what the fuck is that?
Like, yeah, he voiced McCree. McCree. What, that game on Sega CD?
Excellent callback.
It was like 15 years ago. Why is this guy here? Yeah.
Oh, good lord.
Actually, it'd be closer to 20.
Yeah, 20. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
remember, we're in 2017.
Yeah.
Not 16 anymore.
That's right.
That is a new year.
Oh man.
So,
And it has been for the past almost 5 months.
No, it hasn't.
Thank you for joining us.
so when people still say like, yeah, 10 years ago, I still think like the 90s.
I know.
But
Yeah,
it's
tell
been
me
like
about it.
Almost 20 fucking years.
Yeah,
The
right.
stunning realization that you're over 30 and at your job you're still fucking asking people if they'd like fries with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go lay down in traffic.
That's not any of us.
No,
Not any of us.
no, pizza delivery. So.
Yeah,
No, I
I'm
literally
busy.
have to ask
Yeah, he
people
has
if
to
they
ask,
like.
Oh, okay.
"What
Yeah.
fries with it?"
No, I'm too busy like trying to be a candy bartender. So
Yeah.
With the unicorn frappuccinos.
yeah,
Now they got the dragon ones.
I heard
Oh,
that there's like 3
shit.
Snickers in one of those things. Like it had that much sugar.
just about like that thing was like loaded with sugar.
I'll try.
Although to be
Diabetes
honest,
in a venti cup.
That's right.
huh?
Diabetes in a venti cup.
Pretty much.
Diabetes.
But the crazy
Beat,
like
beat,
luckily
beat,
enough
beat,
at the particular joint where I work, our clientele doesn't like come in and request like super crazy stuff. Because I looked up that Dragon Frappuccino. And this is what I've been into this week is like checking, the Starbucks Reddit and just like looking at my fellow partners be like, fuck your couch like the whole time. Because so many of them were like ultra stressed out from the unicorn frappuccino stuff, and like we're just sitting there I'm looking at all this stuff, and it's like they come up with these crazy ideas. Like the Dragon Frappuccino, for example, is a green tea cream frappuccino sweetened with vanilla bean stuffs, but then it has like a pink stuff drizzle around the cup, and that's made from a blend of our wild berries and white mocha sauce. But you have to crank out so much of the white mocha sauce and the wild berries that it's really not worth it unless people are just ordering it over and over and over again. So I'm kind of glad in that respect that where I work at, we don't really have folks that request that. I actually kind of felt bad for our normal clientele because like most of our normal clientele is all business folks. They're just like, let me just get a tall drip. Or I'll take just like a grande blonde coffee. Just stuff like that, or like they want an Americano or just like a regular latte. And then all of a sudden, like, you got them trying to come in line to get their usual, and they have to deal with, 30, 40 giggling, school peeps. They're just like, can I get the unicorn frappuccino? That kind of shit.
Ooh, the ice cream man's out there.
Yeah, speaking of, like, sunshine and unicorns and high sugar.
Yeah.
That means we need to end the Nevicast now, so we
Yeah.
can all get ice cream from the
Yay,
ice cream man.
ice cream!
Yay, ice
Bring
cream!
by.
Yeah.
Because, a bunch of scruffy 30-somethings walking up to an ice cream man, that's gonna look
Pushing the
fucking
kids
great.
out of the way.
Totally.
Hey, move.
Step
It's like-
aside, kids. We got
Yeah, smush it. Push it real good. Alright, so on that note, we're pretty much going to go ahead and wrap up at this point. Kind of a little bit of a short cast this week, but no worries. We'll be talking for like 4 or 5 hours about your name next week.
Yeah.
But,
Then we're going to go play some board games and take pictures. So.
yeah. So, from everybody here, just as always, you can find us on Google Play, find us on iTunes. We always have our streaming stuff throughout the week. We've got, of course, I stream on Mondays, Pants Plays on Tuesdays, Rum Plays on Wednesdays, Thoughtful and on Thursdays, and then, of course, we have Nevi Double the Fighting. We also have Flash Fiction Fridays. So, I kind of went...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day of the week.
Wow.
Every day of the week. So,
Except
yeah.
Friday. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
No, Flash
You
Fiction
said-
Fridays.
you said-
Fuck
Yeah.
you?
You said.
Huh?
What's
Huh?
on Sundays, usually?
The
The
Nevicast.
I
Nevicast.
mean, we record on
We
Saturdays.
record
but-
Saturday, but yeah.
But we post it on Sunday.
But we post it on Sundays.
Yes.
So yeah, we're busy every day of the
Yeah,
week.
we got if you check out the Nevi Dibbler group at WordPress.com, we've got stuff going every day of the week, so you got content to check out. And guys, thank you very much for tuning in, and good night and good luck.
All right, see ya.
Later.
Mm.